Yo, what is up, guys? It's your girl Bex, and welcome back to the race rundown post Japanese Grand Prix weekend. I was gonna say electrifying / exciting, however, in my opinion, it was far from it. So let's just get straight into it, shall we? So, I want to start this off by saying that my notes are very slim, so I don't think this episode's going to be very long. If you're looking for excitement, unfortunately, this episode is not it, I am afraid. However, there was some interesting bits here and there, so we'll just hop straight into it. What the hell happened to Kimi on that start? Going from 1st to 6th. Absolutely crazy start. Both McLarens round the outside. Me, obviously, then getting gassed, thinking, oh my god, we're so back. We were not. Well, one of us was, the other one wasn't, but we'll get into that. Antonelli to 6th, George in 4th. Then I have something that we'll touch on in a bit, but yeah, the Mercedes were in my head all weekend for all the wrong reasons, and we're going to go into that. So Lando then pits on lap 17 and is a little bit slow. Then we have on lap 22, arguably the biggest part of the race and the part that shook me the most, the first crash of the season under the new regulations for Ollie Behrman. 50G into the barrier, limped away with a knee contortion. Has confirmed on social media, by the way, that he is okay, thank God. However, looked a bit scary at one point. 50G is crazy. It shows as well the difference in speeds between the cars, as he basically had to go round Colapinto, hit the grass, slid off, went 50G into the barrier. We all thought it was his ankle at first because, you know, he was limping. We could see him on the overhead camera. He was limping. We all thought, oh God, he's broken his ankle or something. No, it was just a knee contortion, probably from the impact. However, medical team took him away, checked him over, and he's fine. So that's the main thing, is that he's fine. And we ended up finishing the race with no other excitement really, apart from some overtakes between Leclerc and Russell, Hamilton and Norris. They were sort of back and forth all the time. Really good drives from both the Ferraris this weekend. The McLarens, the fact that Lando's car is beyond broken is really annoying me, but that's besides the point. Hopefully they'll get it on the straight and narrow soon. Fingers crossed. And we will see them back to their winning ways again. So we finished the race after 53 laps around Japan as follows. Antonelli first, Piastri second, Leclerc third, Russell fourth, Norris fifth, Hamilton sixth, Gasly seventh, Verstappen eighth. We'll get into that. Lawson 9th and Ocon 10th to bring up the point scoring positions. So, I want to touch on, really quick, Red Bull. The fact that they are competing and cannot get past an Alpine is quite honestly embarrassing. Again, this is not a bashing Red Bull podcast. It has never been that. It will never be that. However, the drop-off in performance that they have had is quite substantial. And again, that's not me being shady. That's just a fact. You can see that. It's interesting to me when there was lots of chatter about Max's clause in his contract last year, that there isn't a lot of that going on at the moment. I don't know if that's because George has signed a multi-year contract now. I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see, because I don't think Max's allegiances are with Red Bull for much longer. Again, I could be wrong, but I think he is a natural born winner, whether us McLaren fans like it or not. He is a natural born winner, and that team is not up to winning form at the moment. And would I like to see Antonelli and Verstappen at Mercedes? Yes, I would. I think George is a bit overrated. There's lots of people that will hate me for saying that, but I think that George is overrated as a driver. For terms of fairness, I also think that Norris is overrated as a driver. I also think that there's a couple of others on the grid, shout out to Stroll, that shouldn't be there. So I am not biased in my decisions. I am a McLaren girly through and through. However, do I think that Norris deserves the hype that he always gets? Not necessarily. There's some areas of improvement, as there is for every driver. So, you know, we're not biased here. Just showing you all that I'm not biased by any means. So yes, that is that. The other thing I wanted to touch on is obviously Alonso. Shout out to you, being a first-time dad, but also the Aston Martin team. We've touched on Stroll. He was obviously out this weekend. I'm not shocked by that. I think they're using the only decent racing driver they have, aka Alonso, to do tests on the car to try and get it up to scratch. The fact that they actually finished a race is promising. The fact that they finished a race ahead of the Cadillacs is also promising, but you would expect that. I mean, I don't think that Cadillac have had the launch they were expecting to have. They haven't really been focused on all that much from what I can see. I mean, it's going to take them a while to learn, and we're still really early into the season. We're 3 races in, so yeah, hopefully we can start seeing a bit more from them soon. I'm impressed by the Audi. They've been quite consistent. I was about to say in the midfield, but it's not, sort of the back end of the midfield. They've been quite consistent, which is a good thing. I would love to see them higher up in the points. That would be fantastic. But, you know, we can't determine where everybody's going to be just yet because we're still really early on in the season. So we go from there. The final thing that I wanted to touch on, which I'm going to try to touch on without ranting too much, is the Mercedes race suits from this weekend. I don't get it. I don't understand. I get it. Toto Wolff, Wolfpack, really funny. You know, Japanese wolf, cool, great, fantastic. But at the same time, those race suits were awful. They were so bad. They just, like, I assume that the texture was meant to look like fur, but it just didn't. It just looked like they'd been plastering for 12 hours. I'm going to put a picture up here for all those that haven't seen. So this is what it looks like. To me, they just look like they've been plastering for 12 hours and haven't changed clothes yet. And then I was fine with it, like, you know, laugh it off, whatever, ha ha ha, funny. But then when you look at the feet, I'm going to zoom in on the feet right now. I believe those are meant to be paws. Which is honestly just drawing the line for me. Just leave the feet blank. Like, they don't need paws, okay? We get it. It's meant to be a wolf. Okay, cool, fantastic. We don't need paws. That's like borderline furry convention. We don't need paws. So yeah, that was that. They were on my mind for all the wrong reasons. And the fact that all of the press now have photos of both of them looking like fucking wolves is hilarious to me. Thank God that there was only one of them on the podium, because if they were both up there, that would have been absolute nightmare fuel. So yeah, that's that. So, off-track news and sort of personal news. As you've probably seen, there have been very few videos with my face in them at the moment. That is because I'm currently moving, or in the process of moving house, and my background looks like shit. And I don't want to put that on YouTube. So you just are blessed with my voice for the time being. I am thankful for the month off. We will go into that in a second, because that should hopefully allow me to sort my life out a little bit, unpack a little bit. So you're just going to have to bear with me at the moment, guys. I'm currently making big moves in my life, and I will hopefully have a nice new shiny background for you at some point. Brand new podcast background reveal. Aren't you lucky, everybody? So, as I just said, we have a month off, not necessarily out of choice, as Agent Orange, aka Mr. Donald Trump, caused a war out in the Middle East. So Bahrain and Saudi have been cancelled throughout the course of May. So what was a 24 race season is now a 22 race season. So that means, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, we then have the first American race of the season with Miami on the 1st and the 3rd of May. So we're off for a whole month, people. We are off for a whole month. Obviously, if anything comes up in between then and now, I will, of course, keep you guys updated. on either socials or do a mini episode. I'm also going to try and do some TikTok lives as well, so you can feel free to join me over there. Again, life's been a little bit hectic at the moment, guys, but I promise we will be back to the regular scheduled programming very soon. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I've been your girl Bex. This has been the race rundown following on from the Japanese Grand Prix, and I'll see you in a month's time for the Miami GP. Take it easy, guys. Peace.